Are you having trouble relaxing? Do you find that the weight of the world's on your shoulders? Well, I'm going to give you some tips of how you can get rid of that in this video. Quite often, we can let things get the better of us. It seems like everything is going wrong in the world in general and in our lives in particular. And every day brings something new to worry about. But the thing is, worry is a useless emotion. Seriously, worrying about a problem never solved it. So instead of worrying, you should put your energies into finding a solution, and facing up to your fears is the first step. In his excellent book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss talks about something called fear setting. And fear setting is a tool to overcome your fears by making them more concrete. And it's the opposite of goal setting. With goal setting, you write down what you want to happen. With fear setting, you write down what you don't want to happen. So write down what you're afraid of, everything from, something that's not a big deal, right down to the worst case scenario. Then you rate the likelihood of each fear happening on a scale of 1 to 10, and then you devise a strategy to deal with each one. So if this happens, I'm going to do that. And of course, it's highly unlikely that the worst case scenario will happen, but if it does, you're prepared. You know exactly what you're going to do to deal with that problem, how you're going to face up to that fear, how you're going to overcome it and move on. So now you can stop worrying and relax because you have a plan and you have a strategy in place. So you know exactly what you're going to do. Because quite a lot of things that people worry about are things that they feel they have no control over, things that are unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. But when you fear set, well, you've got a plan ready. And of course, if it doesn't go exactly to plan, you can always tweak it and so on. And something else that you really need to do to relax is learn how to switch off at the end of each working day. Now, what you should do at the end of each working day is evaluate your to-do list. So you want to check off what you've done, and you want to give yourself a pat on the back for accomplishing the task that you've completed. Look at it and say, well done, I've done all this. You want to carry forward anything that you haven't done to the next day, but don't dwell on it. And if it hasn't got done and it's not pressing, well, it'll have to wait. If it's something that's not particularly important, leaving it another day probably isn't going to be a big deal. Then you want to tidy up your workspace. You want to file important papers away. You want to switch off your work phone or turn on your answering machine, and then close your office door, take a deep breath, and relax. Now, of course, if you work from home and have a home office, you can do that. If you work from home but you don't have a separate space that's just for work, then there are other things that you can do. You can shut your laptop and put it away in a cupboard, or you could get one of those old-fashioned roll-top desks if you, say, work out of a corner of your living room. Then you can simply pull the cover down and lock it away, and that's it. That's work out of sight, out of mind for the rest of the day or the rest of the weekend or however long you're going to be away from work. And then you want to do something that's going to occupy your mind, that's going to take your mind off of your work, off of your job, off of your business. So you could do something like attend an event. You could go and see a movie, or you could watch a movie on TV or something like that. Playing sport is also a great way to occupy your mind because you need to concentrate on the sport that you're playing, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for worrying about things to do with work or worrying about things to do with other things that are going on in your life. You have to concentrate on playing the sport. Or you could socialize with people who are nothing to do with your work, and that way the conversation is not going to be about work, it's not going to be about clients, it's going to be about other things that you all have in common socially. Another trick for switching off at the end of the working day is to live in the moment. So you could practice what's known as mindfulness. Now, mindfulness means that you concentrate on what's happening now. not on the events of the day. So you concentrate on where you are and what you're doing at this particular moment in time. So you might notice what the weather is like at this very moment. You might notice what your environment is like at this very moment, exactly where you are at this very moment. If you're eating something, you want to concentrate on what the food tastes like at this very moment, that sort of thing. So you don't think about things for the past, you don't think about things for the future, you just think about what's happening right now at this very moment. And something else that you can do to really relax and wind down is to practice yoga and meditation. Now, obviously, this is a subject that's much too big to go into a video like this because, there are some people who spend years mastering yoga techniques. But basically, when you practice this, it lets your mind empty, ready to be filled again with relaxing thoughts that you can then carry forward and help you throw off the stresses of the everyday. So there you go, just a few things that you can do to help you relax and stop worrying at the end of your working day.